Wolverhampton Wanderers 3, Manchester United 4. What an end to a game at Molineux. Manchester United win the game, and it's courtesy of their young 18-year-old star, Kobbie Mainoo, with a quite ridiculous goal, to be honest with you guys. The way he just snatched it past the defender with the nice turn and then just side-footed it into the bottom corner. I mean, it's a finish that most strikers would be proud of, let alone a defensive midfielder. I mean, what a goal, man. It capped off a brilliant night for Man United and Erik ten Hag. And let's be honest, they controlled the whole first half. They were the much better team. Wolves come back into it. And it's what I say about football sometimes. Stay in the game, man. Stay in the game. And Wolves did exactly that. They stayed in the game despite the fact that they were nowhere near the better team on that night. They got a goal back. United went back in front. Then they made it back to 3-2. And you're sitting there thinking, okay, they've got a chance now. At 3-2, anything can happen. And lo and behold, they get the goal to make it 3-3. Pedro Neto, fantastic finish. Kylian Mbappe-esque, the way he gave the eyes to the far corner, then pulled it back to the near post. I mean, that is Kylian Mbappe in a nutshell. And I'm sitting there thinking Wolves have just snatched a draw that was looking very, very unlikely at half-time. But then, Kobbie Mainoo, the man stands up. 18 years old, man. He's barely an adult. He's barely legal. He stepped up in the biggest of moments. Beautiful deft touch around the defender, opens his body up and just absolutely whips it into the bottom corner. And I want you guys, those of you that have been around here before, to cast your mind back to Everton 0, Manchester United 3 on this channel about 3 months ago when Kobbie Mainoo made his debut. And a certain someone, aka me, said this kid is a very special footballer. And look what happens. My talent acquisition remains top tier when it comes to football. I said Kobbie Mainoo is a star in the making, man. And look, he's just delivered today. A central defensive midfielder turning up with the biggest of moments for his football club there. What a finish, man. Like, that was just so calm. And the thing I love about Kobbie Mainoo, and it's exactly the same things I said after the game against Everton, nothing phases the boy. Nothing. No lights are too big for him. It's not too bright. It's not all too much. He's just an assassin, bro. Cold-blooded killer. And I love seeing that in him. For someone at 18 years old, I mean, he's younger than me. And it's not often I say that about footballers. I'm 21 years old. It's not often I say footballers are younger than me. But he's unfazed, man. Playing for the biggest club in England, Manchester United. And right there, his team have been controlling the whole game. They were in the driver's seat at half-time. You're sitting there thinking it's going to be a comfortable 3 points at Molineux for Manchester United. Out of nowhere, it's back to 3-3 again. Onana's made a mistake. Your defense is at 6s and 7s. You're thinking, oh, now I've got to get out of here with a point. Wolves have got all the momentum. It was 3-1. Now it's 3-3. What does he do? Nah, give me the football. I know I'm a defensive midfielder, but give me that football. I'll make something special happen. Chops it past the defender. He's got all the attackers to give it to. Does he want to give it to Anthony? Does he want to give it out to someone else? Bruno Fernandes? Nah, it's my moment. Let me use defender as a mannequin. How many times do strikers and midfielders use that defender as a mannequin to bend it around? It's exactly that. And the moment it left his foot, I knew it was goal bound. And he just struck it as sweet as a nut, man. Beautifully just curled it into the corner, goes off to celebrate, and he deserves his moment, man. Deserves his moment. Because I called this, man. After the Everton game, Everton 0, Manchester United 3 on this channel. The live stream will be on my channel from a couple months ago. I said that Kobbie Mainoo is a star. I loved what I saw in him. It was a fantastic debut in an 18-year-old that played like a 27-year-old, 28-year-old. He played like he was in his prime. Not just his performance, his mentality, the way he approached the game. Nothing fazed that kid. And look, literally 2 months later, he's got his shining moment to score. He scored, I believe, his first goal for Manchester United against Newport in the FA Cup, I believe. And then today, the biggest goal in his career so far. What a goal, man. Nothing will become sweeter than that. Brilliant, brilliant finish. And look, it's a big win for Erik ten Hag and Manchester United as well, because this is a big storyline on this game. This is a game that, up to the lead of it, Rashford's been out partying. He's had the whole problem with Sancho as well. All these, is signings going to be made? The signing's not going to be made. Who's coming in? Who's leaving? The Onana question marks. Look, Manchester United right now, whether we like it or not, are a club that's got more problems than answers. It's a media literally frenzy right there. No one really knows what's going on. There's a lot of just hatred around that football club. And we came into this game today thinking, well, what Man United is going to show up? Is it going to be a good Man United? Is it going to be a bad Man United? Because right now, Man United are like the lottery. You don't know what you're going to get. You buy a ticket to see the show. You don't know what you're seeing. And after the first 30 minutes, I was sitting there thinking, yeah, this is a Man United team that's going to steamroll Wolverhampton Wanderers here today. Rashford scored after his all fiasco during the week with the missing the game and all this about the partying. He gets on the score sheet. Brilliant goal as well. Højlund, he gets on the score sheet. We know he's been goal shy, to be honest, for Man United so far in his stint. And at 2-0, I'm thinking, yeah, comfortable, man. Comfortable for Man United, easy 3 points, they walk away. But what Wolverhampton Wanderers did is they did what any other team should do in their situation. Stay in the game. Stay in the game. Because the thing about Manchester United, right, is they're not an elite football club yet. Now, in terms of history and tradition, no denial, they're the biggest club in England. But in terms of actual quality on the pitch right now, they don't play at an elite level. They can't control a game for 90, 95 minutes. You're going to get chances against them. So what Wolves did was stay in the game. Stay in the game throughout. Even if you're 2-0 down, don't make it 3-0. Because 2-0, you get one back and the momentum's with you. It goes 2-1, it goes 3-1. You're still thinking it's a long day for Wolverhampton Wanderers. But everyone knew if Wolves made it 3-2, we've got a game on our hands. And lo and behold, they did. 85th minute, Sarabia gets the goal. Then with about 5-10 minutes left, it's a grandstand finish. Wolves on the counter-attack, get the goal through Pedro Neto, make it 3-3. I'm sitting there thinking Man United have thrown it away. Wolves have snatched the point, and everyone's going, oh my God, it's Man United again, throwing away a game that should be 100% theirs. What are they doing? It's absolutely terrible, terrible game management by Erik ten Hag. Plus, he bought all the defenders as well. Johnny Evans just got subbed on. Where are they going to get a goal from now? They played the game to get the win, and now they've bought on all their defenders. How are they going to get a goal back? But when you got talented players on the football pitch, anything can happen. And Kobbie Mainoo is exactly that, man. That brother's a talent. I remember watching the game against Everton and saying that this man needs to stay in the Man United team for as long as possible now. For as long as possible. He's the starter in my eyes. That's what I have him in that midfield, no questions asked. Players around him, yes. You can have Casemiro. You can have a Scott McTominay that needs to be improved upon. But Kobbie Mainoo has to play in that team. Not every game, because he's only 18 years old. And you shouldn't be trusting an 18-year-old to assume the responsibility of not only being in the biggest club in England, but playing the most important position on the football pitch in my eyes, which is defensive midfielder. So it's too young for him to assume that position, but he needs minutes, man, because this kid is special and surrounded with quality, man. Because when I look at this Man United team, and here's the most puzzling thing for me, this is a team that spent a godload of money, man, an awful lot of cash. You're talking 180 million on Anthony, 70 million on Rasmus Højlund, 65 million on Mason Mount. That's a lot of money to spend on signings. And arguably, the best player they brought in this summer has been an academy project in Kobbie Mainoo. It says it all, really, man. Like, their best player has been their homegrown player, Kobbie Mainoo. And he's revolutionized the team. He had an injury, obviously, that kept him out at the start of the season. But this kid is a special talent, man. Very, very special talent. Honestly, the world's at his feet. The world is honestly at his feet. I think he's a top player, man. And I said it from minute one as well, because with me, when it comes to footballers, right, I don't just look at the quality on the pitch, especially at a young age, because everyone can perform good on their day. I've seen Eddie and Nketiah score hat-tricks against Sheffield United. It doesn't move me. For me, especially as a young player, I look at their mentality. I look at the way they approach the game. I look at their, yes, IQ won't be at the top level because they haven't got the experience that other players have, like a Casemiro would, or a Rodri would, for example, or Busquets. But do you have, in my eyes, do you have the sense of understanding what the position entails from you? Do you have that killer instinct, that assassin mentality? Do you actually embrace the biggest moments rather than shy away from them? And from the first debut I've seen with Kobbie Mainoo against Everton to now, I've seen everything I want to see from that kid. A kid that doesn't shy away from the big moments, is ready to step up in big times as well. Not afraid to ask for the football, because as a defensive midfielder, sometimes you're actually scared to ask for the football because you're worried you might lose it, especially as a young player. But he's not like that at all. He wants the ball all moments. That's exactly the type of player you should be looking for. And it's an example, because look at some of the other players United have got right now, yeah? Look, Anthony, I don't want to dig him out, but the guy's not good, man. He's a terrible footballer. Jadon Sancho, I mean, he's been basically expelled like it's school. He's actually been expelled by Erik ten Hag. He's not allowed anywhere near the training, anywhere near the training regime or facilities. So look at some of the other players around, the young players in particular, and then you compare them to Kobbie Mainoo, man. The brother knows exactly what he's doing. He's a top player in my eyes, and he's proven it again today, man. Fantastic finish. And he gives Man United 3 points. And it's a big 3 points, because let's be real with it right now, guys, yeah? Before the game, I actually thought Man United would win it, but I wasn't super confident in that, because how can you be? Man United, like I said, is like the lottery. You think they're going to win, they lose. You think they're going to lose, they win. You don't know with them. It's pot luck with Man United. But after about 25 minutes, when it went 2-0, Højlund scored the second goal, I thought, yeah. It's Man United winning this game comfortably. But then they threw it away, and I'm thinking, oh my God, classic Man United. Throw it away. You're in a commanding 2-0 position, and you're literally throwing the game away. What are you doing? But they found a way to win the game. And that's what big teams do. Big teams find a way to win the game. When they're at their best, when they're not at their best. Win the football match, because all that matters, guys, It's not the XG. It's not the shots on target. It's not the possession. It's not the field tilt, no matter what these Twitter tacticos say. The only thing that matters is a score in the top left corner. And Manchester United won that game today because they scored more goals than Wolves. And look, there's a lot to pick out from the performance. I think the defending at times was shambolic from Manchester United, to be honest with you guys. But it's all to be analysed later on. You got the win, and that's all that matters, man. That's all that matters. You take the 3 points and you move forward. You move forward, man. I mean, if I look at this game right here, yeah, between Wolves and Manchester United, I'm going to pull up as well the actual match stats and everything like that so we can analyse it holistically, what's going on right now. Let's get into your comment as well right here. Petronat, I appreciate you on the stream, my friend. Anthony is trash. Bro, I couldn't agree more with you. I could not agree more with you. That guy's ass, man. Like, honestly, Anthony is trash. And I remember at the time when you lot signed him. When he got signed, I was thinking, what is this brother doing? Why are you signing him? Like, he's not... the thing about wingers, right? Winger is my favourite position on the football pitch. I love watching wingers play. But being a winger, right? Every single winger has got their own sort of, like, play style. And I feel like a lot of them are trying to play like Neymar now. Neymar is not... and actually, like, is not the optimum winger. Neymar is fantastic at what he does. But if you ask me, or if you ask any single manager on this planet, what do you want in a winger? None of them would say Neymar. Not a single one of them, because he's not direct. From a winger, you want a player that gets the ball, doesn't look to do skill moves, just charges at the defender and makes a decision. Cut inside and shoot, or go out wide and whip it in the box. Just do something. Do you get what I mean? What Anthony does, he tries to do the Neymar model, which is get the ball, have a bit of flair, do a couple of turns. It's not efficient. It's not what you want from the winger. It just slows down play. I've seen it with other wingers. Alan Saint-Maximin, Nicolas Pepe. I've seen it all before, man. Wingers that try and be Neymar regens. It's not your play style. Sometimes all you need to do is head down and run with it. I'm not saying run down blind alleys. I'm not saying don't do a skill move. But do it in the motion of the play. Don't just stand there and try and do spins on the spot like a fidget spinner. It's not what you want to see. And Manchester United play at their absolute best when they're playing free-flowing football on the counter-attack. And Anthony slows you down. In my opinion, the best Man United team right now has Garnacho on the right wing and Rashford on the left wing and Højlund up front and Bruno Fernandes in the hole. That's what I would do. And it's sad to say, but Anthony does not start for Manchester United. And the only reason it's sad to say that is because the brother costs 80 to 100 million. Like, if you spend 100 million pounds on a player, they should be starting for you. I don't care what anyone says. That's a starting amount of money. If you spend 60 million on them, they should be starting. And it's got to a point now where, in my opinion, you spent 65 million pounds on Mason Mount, who's not a starter. You spent 100 million pounds on Anthony, who's not a starter. Højlund he scored today, but for me, he's not an elite striker right now. He might get there one day. He's still young, give him time, but he's not an elite striker right now. So you dropped damn near 220, 250 million pounds on 3 players that in your strongest team should not really start, to be honest, especially if you're looking to sign a striker. So there's problems with this recruitment of Erik ten Hag. Now, here's the thing with Erik ten Hag for me, guys, right now, yeah? He's going to stay another day because of that. I think if he lost today, he'd have a lot of pressure on his shoulders. Now, I actually like Erik ten Hag. God honest truth, I like Erik ten Hag an awful lot. I actually think that Erik ten Hag could manage a lot of teams right now and do a very good job. I don't think he's a bad manager, but I think he will get sacked by Manchester United, and I think it's the right decision to sack him at some point. And I think you're delaying the inevitable, keeping him in the job. And I'll explain that right now. Now, first thing I do want to say, as I said right now, Erik ten Hag is not a bad manager. I genuinely think if Erik ten Hag manages Arsenal or Liverpool or Tottenham right now, I don't think he does a bad job. I genuinely don't think so. The problem is that Manchester United are the biggest club in England and therefore assume by the majority, or at least some of the fan base, to have the expectations that aligns with the biggest club in England. And that is competing and winning trophies at the highest level. But the fact of the matter is that their squad, their facilities, and their directing is not at that level. All of those, the players in particular, are not title challenger worthy. Right now, let's be honest, they're Europa League borderline top 4 quality. So you've got a proportion of the fan base that is assuming, or at least targeting, winning the title every single season, given they are the biggest club in England. Whether that's fair or not, you make your own deductions on that. But the quality of the team is not at that level yet. So you've got disparity. Now, the problem is that there's a common denominator here. Erik ten Hag is not the only manager since Sir Alex Ferguson to not challenge for the Premier League. Louis van Gaal came in, didn't challenge for the Premier League. Does anyone here think Louis van Gaal is a bad manager? Because I don't. I think he's a good manager. David Moyes came in. He didn't win them the league. I don't think he's a bad manager either. Jose Mourinho, he famously said that finishing second was his greatest ever achievement. He didn't win them the league. He only won them in FA Cup and Europa League. I think Mourinho is a good manager. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't do enough. Ralf Rangnick didn't do enough. Now you got Erik ten Hag. That, in my eyes, is 6 managers since Sir Alex Ferguson has left the door, and not a single one of them have won anything at Manchester United at the highest level. I'm talking Premier League or Champions League. What's the common denominator then? It's not the manager. And here's the problem with Manchester United right now, guys, yeah? Here's the problem. The owners are a problem. They are. Avram Glazer, Joel Glazer. They've obviously shifted some of the responsibility on Ineos with Sir Jim Ratcliffe. But at the end of the day, the ownership still lies with the Glazers. Manchester United are not the only club in England to have a poor ownership. They're not. Liverpool have had it. Arsenal have had it. Not every club's going to have crystal clear ownership like Man City. It's just the way it is. But the difference is this. When you have a top-tier manager, I'm talking elite manager like Jurgen Klopp walking the door, they can transcend and mask over even the inadequacies of the management and directorship. That's how it is. Liverpool had not won a Premier League since its inception. And they've had good managers. Brendan Rodgers is a good manager. Rafa Benitez is a very good manager. Likewise, Kenny Dalglish was there for a second stint. He's a good manager. These are very good managers that came in the door and did not win Liverpool Premier League. Jurgen Klopp came in and he transcended Liverpool to a point where they won the Premier League, where his actual charisma, aura, recruitment was so good that it masked over all the bad things that FSG had done, and it took them to a period where, despite not having the same directorship or funds that Man City had, they were able to challenge for a league title, win the Champions League, win the Premier League, win the FA Cup and Carabao Cup, Europa League, you name it all. They won it all. That was Jurgen Klopp's doing. Now, Erik ten Hag is not at the level of Jurgen Klopp. So Manchester United are at a split road right now. They're at a crossroad. They've got 2 options. Option 1 is they get rid of the ownership, which is what the Man United fans have been crying out for, which I think is the right decision, but it's not going to happen. Or option 2, you have to find a manager that's so elite, Jurgen Klopp level elite, that they're so good that even the inadequacies of the ownership gets masked over because they transcend even that. Now, a manager of that level is very hard to find. So a lot of managers that are even very good at Manchester United, like Mourinho, like Erik ten Hag, who I think is a very good manager, like I said, but like Louis van Gaal, they're very good, but they're not good enough even to eclipse the inadequacies and the pitfalls in Man United. And that's the biggest problem. And that is going to be Man United's biggest problem until the owners leave, until they find a manager that can replace him. Because Erik ten Hag's a good manager, but he's not good enough to elevate United to that status. And I feel for him. Because like I said, if you airdrop Erik ten Hag in Arsenal or in Tottenham or in Man United right now, he'll do a good job. He'll do a good job. Not Man United. If you airdrop him in Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City even, any other club, I think he'll do a good job, Erik ten Hag. He's not a bad manager. I promise you he's not. But in Man United, it's a rotten club. And it's a rotten club that's getting rotten results. And I feel for him, bro. I really do. Hassan, merhaba kardeşim. Have a good show. I appreciate it, brother. I hope you're doing well as well, man. Thank you for joining the stream as always. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on it, man. That's just my thoughts. And look, he's not a bad manager, but it's a bad run football club, a very bad run football club. And with Manchester United right now, yeah, they've won the game today, and I feel for them, man. I feel for them because it was a tough one, and because of that, his job's extended. He's not on thin ice right now, Erik ten Hag, but he's like a yo-yo. I feel he's like a wave, bro. He's like, oh, he's at the time of his life. Now he's about to get sacked again. Time of his life, he's about to get sacked again. You got players that don't respect him. Let's be real about it right now, yeah? The players do not respect Erik ten Hag. Rashford's gone out clubbing, bro. The guy's gone out clubbing. That he doesn't care, man. Are you telling me if Jurgen Klopp was manager, that Rashford's going out clubbing before the match? It's not happening, man. I promise you it's not happening. The players don't respect him. And I feel for him because he's trying to stamp down his authority. He did it with Ronaldo. That seemed to have backfired. He did it with Jadon Sancho. Now he's asked to do the same thing about Marcus Rashford. It's not really working. I feel for the brother. I genuinely do. Because it's rotten. And he's taken the job because obviously it's the biggest job in England. And he wants to manage Manchester United. Who wouldn't? It's one of the biggest honours in world football. But it's such a tough job. And I just don't see how Man United fix it unless they get a top-tier manager. And for me, it doesn't really exist. Like, you're looking at a manager that's got the tactical ability of Guardiola mixed in with the charisma of Jurgen Klopp. It don't really exist. Let's be real. Like, Xavi Alonso could be that guy, but is he strong enough mentally to compete with the ownership? Is he strong enough mentally to stamp his authority down and have the players respect him? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. So, look, my thing right now is this, right? When Jurgen Klopp joined Liverpool Football Club, he said that it doesn't matter what people think when you join, it matters what people think when you leave. And when Jurgen Klopp announces himself leaving Liverpool, look how everyone in the football world reacted. Liverpool fans were distraught. Some of them were crying, bro. You had people in Liverpool crying that Jurgen Klopp's leaving, like a relative died. That's how distraught they were. Rival fans were absolutely excited, like, oh my God, Klopp's leaving. Liverpool going to go back to the old days again when they're crap. Love it. If Erik ten Hag left tomorrow, United fan base would not care. 90% of them wouldn't care one bit. And the rival fans would be, oh my God, Erik ten Hag's leaving. I wanted him to stay. That says a lot, really. Let's be honest about it. And for me, the club is absolutely embodied by the manager. Whether you like it or not, it is. The manager is the club in a nutshell. Do you want your club embodied by Jurgen Klopp, Guardiola, Carlo Ancelotti, or Erik ten Hag? That's my thoughts on it. Even when I look at Erik ten Hag, he doesn't strike me as a manager that's got charisma or aura about him. Like, look at Man United managers of the past, man. Like, you just have to go back to Sir Alex Ferguson, for example. Sir Alex Ferguson had something about him. You know what I mean? Like, the brother commanded respect when he walked through the door. Like, you can talk about all this about Fergie time. He used to bully referees and all this and all that, yeah? But the guy commanded respect. That's a man that you look at and think, right, that's a leader amongst men. The way he talked, the way he commanded his players, the way he was a tactician. He had everything to his game. And United have had other good managers. Jose Mourinho, Louis van Gaal. These are top managers, bro. Don't think otherwise. They're very good managers that manage top teams in their division. Jose Mourinho will go down as one of the greatest managers of all time. They're not getting a tune out of these players. So I think it says it all, really, man. It says it all. So look, I think Man United right now, there's a big change that needs to happen. Cristiano Ronaldo highlighted this. Whether it happens or not, who knows, man? Who knows? But I'll be here along the way, and that's the main thing, man. As always, if you're new around, make sure you subscribe down below on my road to 6,000 subscribers. I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. I think Man United need a good manager. I agree, bro. I agree 100%. Definitely need a new manager, man, because this Erik ten Hag Donny is nowhere near good enough. Nowhere near good enough one bit in my eyes, man. I need a big reset with him in the door in my eyes. I think I think he's a good manager, but I don't think he's the right manager for Manchester United. And that says a lot, really. It says a lot, because I genuinely thought he would be. After he won the Carabao Cup, I thought they found a manager for the long term. But once again, as proven with Jose Mourinho, as proven with Louis van Gaal, it's a cyclical process. As proven with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, with Manchester United, it's only good temporarily. No one can build a consistent team. And who knows what happens? Look, so Jim Ratcliffe, he's now got to stamp his authority. So is he going to let my man go? I don't know, to be honest. He genuinely could. He genuinely could sit there and go, yeah, I'm going to get rid of him. I'm going to get rid of my man, Erik ten Hag. Let him go. He's not good enough. Who knows, man? But look, and then they enjoy it, man. He's got to enjoy his performance. He's got to enjoy the result as well. He got the 3 points. If I pull up the match stats right here, let's talk through the match stats as well, guys. So it was actually a very entertaining game, to be honest. Very good game. So if I pull up the match stats right now, yeah, guys, let's look here. So we see here, yeah, that you've got Wolves 3, Manchester United 4. Man United 8 shots on target, 21 shots in total, 47% of the ball. Wolves 16 shots on target, 16 shots, 7 on target, 53% of the ball. Even game. Even game. My problem right here is this. You go 2-0 up after 22 minutes with Rashford and Højlund. You're coasting. It gets to 65 minutes, 70 minutes. You're still 2-0 up. The game's basically, you're coasting. Sarabia gets a penalty to bring it back to 2-1. It's nervy. Then McTominay scores to make it 3-1. At that point, that's the misery compiler. Wolves got back into the game to make it 2-1. You've now made it 3-1. Game should be locked off. How many times do we see teams like Man United, Manchester City, Liverpool and Arsenal go 2-0 up, concede a goal, then go 3-1 and the game's over? Same thing happened with Liverpool yesterday. They were 3-0 up, conceded a goal to make it 3-1, could have been nervous, back to 4-1 again. Do you get what I mean? Scored a goal afterwards, game over, lock it off. United, they made it 3-1, then they made it nervous again. They conceded again to make it 3-2. They've conceded 3 goals in 25 minutes. Like, that's a weak team, man. Weak team that does that. Do you get what I mean? So that's got to be a worry. And then obviously Kobbie Mainoo digs you out with a fantastic goal. And that's just my thoughts on it, man. That's just my thoughts on it. I do think, though, to be fair, that if you look at the starting lineup, though, that is Man United's strongest team. I think it is. I think it's their strongest team. And yes, there were some problems when other players come into pitch, like in particular Anthony, but I don't know what that guy gives you, to be honest with you guys. But I think the biggest worry right now is for Manchester United is how easy they gave it away. How easy they gave the lead away. And yes, they got saved by Kobbie Mainoo, but that could have been 3-3 very easily. Very easily could have finished 3-3. Linus Francis, appreciate you on the stream, my friend. I'm doing really well. We don't need Anthony anymore. Facts, bro. I've been saying that for time. You should have sent him back to Ajax as soon as you could. Don't even need the player, bro. The guy's ass, man. Such a bad footballer. But let's look at Man United's fixtures going forward, right? So obviously they're in the next round of the FA Cup. They've got West Ham next weekend. Hopefully that should be a win for Man United, given they're at home at Old Trafford. Then you got Aston Villa away. That's a tough game, very tough game. But Aston Villa lost their last game 3-1 to Newcastle United at home, so there could be some cracks in their fortress. Then you got Luton Town away from home, tough game. No one wants to go to Kenilworth Road right now. Then you got Fulham. So your next 4 games, you should be winning both games at home. In my opinion, West Ham and Fulham you should be winning both those games at home. The 2 away games are tough. Now, in my eyes, yeah, if you get 8 points at least, that's good. I genuinely think that 8 points at least is very good for Manchester United. Because if you look at the table right now, yeah, they're on 35 points. They're a long way off the top 5. The top 5 right now, Aston Villa and upwards, they're in a league of their own. I think Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool are title challengers. I think Tottenham and Aston Villa are fighting for top 4. I said at the start of the season that Man United will get top 4. My top 4 at the start of the season had Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United in there. Arsenal, Man City, and Liverpool doing their job. It's Man United that's lacking right now. Now they still can get top 4. They're only 8 points off it. That's nothing in the grand scheme of things. Absolutely nothing. My problem is this. The performances are crap. They've lost 9 games already. They've lost more games than Brighton. They've lost the same games as Chelsea, Wolves, and Bournemouth. That is a real problem in my eyes. A real big problem. Their goal difference is negative. The only team to have a negative goal difference is Wolves next in the table. Do you get what I mean? So there's a lot of cracks right now, Manchester United. They're not scoring enough goals and they're leaking goals too easily. And if I look at their past results right now with Manchester United, yeah, if I look at the past results, look at it. You got Newport County. You won the game 4-2, but it was not a convincing performance. You were 2-2. You drew against Tottenham 2-2. I thought Tottenham were the better team. Fine, you beat Wigan in the FA Cup. Fair. You lost to Nottingham Forest. I thought that was a bad performance in my eyes. A very bad performance. You beat Villa 3-2. Terrible first half. Fantastic second half. Fantastic. You lost 2-0 to West Ham. Terrible performance. You grinded out a 0-0 draw at Anfield. Credit where credit's due. Bayern, it was a game you needed to win. You did nothing. Bournemouth at home. In my opinion, he should have got sacked right there and then. On God's green earth, I remember making a video after this game. I said he should have got sacked straight after this game. There's no way you can be Manchester United manager and lose 3-0 to Bournemouth. Are you having a laugh? Like, come on, let's be serious right now. At home as well. He should have got sacked right there and then. He then beat Chelsea, but then lost 1-0 to Newcastle. So it's topsy-turvy, man. It's topsy-turvy. Like, the guy could not consistently get points. And that's the biggest problem, man. Like, consistency is your bedrock. Like, you have to have consistency. And the problem is, yeah, there's no consistency even in team selection or performances. Fair enough, some things have been out of his hand. Like, for example, the injuries with Lisandro Martinez, Rafael Varane, Casemiro. There's been injuries, fine. But there's not even consistency in performances, not even consistency with selection. Players are pulling a hissy fit. Like I said before, guys, if Jurgen Klopp is manager, if Pep Guardiola is the manager, do you think Rashford goes clubbing the night before a game? Do you think Jadon Sancho pulls his stupidness? Sancho's gone to Dortmund. He's having the time of his life. He's playing games. He's smiling. He's going training. There's no problem there. When he's at Manchester United, there's the big problem. The common denominator is the manager, but the common denominator also is the players. The players are just not, their ego is bigger than the club. And that's a problem, bro. That's a big problem because a lot of these players aren't fit enough to wear the Man United shirt. Now, if you ask all these legends, yeah, I'm talking Roy Keane, Cantona, Van Nistelrooy, players like that, even Gary Neville, like not even like top tier legends, any legend of Manchester United that's played at the club for an extended period, right? And you ask them off camera, just in a private conversation, no recording, do you think this team is good enough for Manchester United? They would say that 90% of players aren't. They genuinely would. They would say that players like Kobbie Mainoo are, who's an 18-year-old, who's actually showing some spirit. Garnacho, yes. The rest of them are crap. Like, let's go through the team right now. Onana, not good enough. The jury's out on him already. Diego Dallo, I like Diego Dallo, but he's not a starter in my opinion. Wan-Bissaka, I love the kid to bits. Genuinely, I think he's a real good, like, workhorse player. But he's not a good enough footballer. He can't attack. He's not good enough with the ball at his feet. In my opinion, Guardiola, Arteta, Ancelotti, not necessarily Diego Simeone, but Jurgen Klopp will not go anywhere near him. Will not go near him with a barge pole. So Dallo, in my opinion, is a bench player. Wan-Bissaka, you can bin him off. Luke Shaw, I think, is a good player. You keep him. Lisandro Martinez is a good player. You keep him. Varane, he's too old right now, but you might as well keep him. Maguire, bin him off. Johnny Evans, squad player at best. Reserve player, doesn't really touch the field. Who else you got right there? Let's go into the midfield. Casemiro, too old. You keep him as a squad player or you bin him. McTominay, He wanted to bin him at the start of the season. He's been one of their best players this season. So there's no consistency there. Mainoo, you have to keep him. Have to keep him. Ericsson, bin him, too old. Mason Mount, just signed him, not even getting on the pitch right now. Bin him off. Bruno Fernandes, I like the guy. I think he's a very good footballer, but he's got an attitude problem. Bin him in my eyes. Garnacho, keep him. Rashford, good player on his day, but again, attitude problem it seems like. Anthony, bin him as soon as you can, bro. Drive him to the airport. Drive him straight to the airport. Anthony Martial, bin him off. Meant to be a star kid when you signed him from Monaco. Nowhere near lived up to expectation. Nowhere near. Bin him off. And Rasmus Højlund, good player, but he's still a bit young. Like, he should not have made that move to Man United at this point in his career. He should have made another move to an Everton or a Brighton or a Newcastle or an Aston Villa and then move on to Manchester United. You get what I mean? So, look, there's an awful lot of problems, man. Awful lot of problems. Here's my genuine thought process on it right now, guys. Yeah, Manchester United, to round off this stream. Manchester United won the game. Congratulations, fair play to them. I give them an awful lot of credit for that. But an awful lot needs to change. An awful lot needs to change. Their next game is West Ham United at home. I will be reviewing Arsenal versus Liverpool on Sunday, so I'll be also there for the West Ham game as Man United. After I review the Arsenal-Liverpool game, I'll be talking about Manchester United. I've given my thoughts about Manchester United on this channel a lot. You can check out our previous streams on this channel. There's good players there, but the club is rotten from the core. They can get top 4 this season. I genuinely think right now they will get top 4. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I just think they'll turn it around. But an awful lot needs to change, an awful lot. And it starts from the top. Erik ten Hag will get sacked. I just think it's a case of when, not a matter of if. And every game he wins, he's just delaying the inevitable. But regardless, enjoy the result. Massive congratulations to Kobbie Mainoo in particular. Well deserved. That kid's a wonderful player, superstar in the making, and right now as well. And I called it early as well. I think he's a fantastic player. Manchester United have beaten Wolves 4-3. Congratulations to Wolverhampton Wanderers and Gary O'Neill. They fought back wonderfully after being 2-0 down, but didn't quite have enough gas in the tank to get over the line. And for Man United, you take the win, you take the momentum, and try and build some kind of form. I appreciate everyone that tuned in today. If you're on your own team, make sure you do subscribe down below on my road to 6,000 subscribers. Otherwise, I appreciate everyone for tuning in, and I hope to catch you guys all in my next one.